Welcome to Idaho Fishing Game's Hook and Bulletin podcast, your weekly news roundup of hunting, fishing, trapping, and conservation stories from around the Gem State. Hosted by Fishing Game's Public Information Specialist, Connor J. Lease.
And welcome back, everyone, to Idaho Fishing Game's Hook and Bulletin podcast. It's been a busy week for hunting, fishing, trapping, and conservation stories here in Idaho. This week on the Hook and Bulletin, we'll be talking about grizzly bears up near Salmon, Free Fishing Day, and harlequin ducks. But first, a story about a different type of hazard on one Pocatello golf course. Back on June 1st, Fishing Game staff with the help of the Pocatello Police Department removed a yearling cow moose from Riverside Golf Course in Pocatello. A Fishing Game conservation officer was contacted by the PPD regarding the moose after the animal had first been observed on Donrich Avenue in Pocatello before making its way to the backyard of a residence. It eventually got up, made a clutch 6-foot jump over a fence onto the golf course, cleared the fringe, and came to a stop in the middle of the fairway. With the help of Pocatello police, Fishing Game was able to corral the moose near some pine trees while they redirected golfers away from the area. The moose was tranquilized and loaded into a trailer for transport to a remote location away from town. Here's Fishing Game's Regional Wildlife Manager Zach Lockyer on the call.
During this time of year, it's not uncommon for us to get calls like this. When female moose have new calves, they kick their yearlings out, and sometimes those young moose get themselves into some weird places.
This is just another example of the kind of collaborative work that goes on behind the scenes between Fishing Game and other agencies, in this case the Pocatello Police Department, to resolve wildlife conflicts in towns. Incidents like this one serve as an important reminder that wildlife can and will turn up in unexpected places. Encountering wildlife in Idaho is just par for the course. Especially this time of year when animals are on the move or have young with them, remember to keep your distance. If you have questions or concerns about encounters with moose or other wildlife, please contact your nearest regional Idaho Fishing Game office. For more on this story, go read Jenny Jackson's story on our website. Alright, moving on to grizzly bears. Fishing Game staff have confirmed that a grizzly bear was sighted in the North Fork Salmon River area near the Montana border. The bear was photographed by a game camera on May 23rd, and it didn't take a whole lot of effort to identify the Bruin as a grizzly. And no, it is not known if the bear is still in the area. But it is a good reminder. While most of Idaho's grizzly bear populations reside in the northern Panhandle area and the area in and around Yellowstone National Park in eastern Idaho, grizzlies can sometimes wander long distances and into areas where people don't expect to encounter them. That includes salmon. Grizzlies are rare in those parts. The last confirmed sighting in the Salmon region was in 2022 from yet another trail camera picture. Homeowners, recreationists, and hunters are asked to be bear aware and remove any possible attractants such as garbage, animal feed, or other items. And bear hunters in Units 21, 21A, 30, and adjacent units need to carefully identify their targets and should not assume that any bear they see is a black bear. With summer just picking up, it may not be the last time a grizzly bear wanders into uncommon territory. And when those occasions do occur, Idaho Fishing Game has a nifty little reporting tool online so folks can report these types of sightings right then and there. Hit the link in the description to read more about how to recreate safely in grizzly country and where to report additional sightings. Next up, Fishing Game biologists are on a quest to learn more about the state's most mysterious duck. In the remote and rugged streams of Idaho's northern wilderness, a small but vibrant splash of color paddles against the current. It's called the harlequin duck, a species as enigmatic as it is colorful, and Fishing Game biologists are eager to unravel its mysteries. Known for their striking plumage and secretive nature, these ducks are at the center of an important investigation aimed at determining whether their population in Idaho is holding steady or facing a decline. Each year, as the lush landscapes of Idaho's Panhandle and Clearwater regions burst into the greens of spring, harlequin duck couples arrive from the Pacific coast to their breeding streams. This marks the beginning of a vital period of observation carried out by the Idaho Department of Fish and Game and their partners at the U.S. Forest Service. Back in spring and summer of 2023, these teams embarked on a series of 15 meticulous surveys across 9 different stream sections, navigating the terrain by raft, foot, and road to monitor these elusive birds. Despite the challenges posed by the rugged terrain and the duck's elusive nature, the teams were able to confirm the presence of at least 7 adult harlequin ducks throughout the season. However, the job of tracking harlequin ducks is challenging. The terrain is tough, the ducks are few, and the data hard to come by, making reliable population estimates a complex puzzle. This has spurred on new scientific endeavors to improve how these surveys are conducted. And no pun intended. Enter Holly Holmes, a graduate student from the University of Montana who is at the forefront of developing innovative techniques that could revolutionize our understanding of these ducks. Holmes is experimenting with remote cameras and the collection of environmental DNA, an advanced method that could detect the presence of harlequin ducks without the need for direct observation. This collaboration between state, federal, and university researchers showcases a growing commitment to safeguarding the future of the harlequin duck. As the efforts to renew these survey methods continue, the hope is that more accurate data will lead to better conservation strategies, ensuring that harlequin ducks remain part of Idaho's natural heritage. For more on this story, hit the link in the description. Okay, with that, it's time for the Rapid Fire Bulletin. It's June, folks, and you know what that means. Idaho's annual Free Fishing Day is this weekend on June 8th. It doesn't matter whether you live in Boise, Blackfoot, or Bonners Ferry. Free Fishing Day is statewide, and chances are there's a fish and game hosted event near you. And the best part, no fishing license is required. If you've never been fishing and are looking to dip your toe in the water, metaphorically speaking, Free Fishing Day is the perfect day to take that leap. Fish and Game will be hosting several fishing events throughout the state to help first-timers discover the joys of fishing. Some of these events even provide you with loaner rods and tackle. So head on over to Idaho Fish and Game's Free Fishing Day webpage or contact your nearest regional office to see what types of activities are happening in your neck of the woods. Oh, and remember, all other fishing rules and regulations, including bag limits, opening dates, and tackle restrictions, remain in effect. Always check the seasons and rules for the water where you plan to go fishing. Circling back to all you salmon residents, Fish and Game's Salmon region will be putting on a few hunter education courses, including Trapper Ed and Wolf Trapper Ed. There are several dates and times listed running from mid-June to August 1st, so be sure to check out Mike Demick's story on our website if you're interested in signing up. But it's worth noting, even if you're an experienced trapper, Idaho requires anyone who has not purchased a trapping license before July of 2011 to complete a mandatory trapper education course. And also important, anyone intending to trap wolves must attend a wolf trapper education class prior to purchasing wolf trapping tags. Therefore, anyone intending to trap wolves that did not hold an Idaho trapping license prior to July 2011 is required to take both Trapper Ed and Wolf Trapper Ed. All right, that's it for this week's stories. It's time for our question of the week. This is a great question, one that came to us from one of our Facebook followers. She wrote, I have a 13-year-old who wants to fish for salmon. Because she doesn't need a license until she's 14, does she need her own salmon permit? How does that work? So children, including non-resident children, under the age of 14 are exempt from purchasing salmon and steelhead permits. They may fish without permits if they are accompanied by a valid permit holder, provided that any fish caught must be recorded on the permit holder's card and counted in the permit holder's legal bag, possession, and season limits. A resident child under 14 may purchase permits without a license so that they may catch their own limits of salmon and or steelhead. Hope that answers your question. And with that, that's all the news we have for this week. Thanks for putting an ear to Idaho Fish and Game's Hook and Bulletin. If there's something on your mind or if you got a question related to fish and game matters, feel free to drop us a line at podcast@idfg.idaho.gov. Again, that's podcast@idfg.idaho.gov. Thank you so much for listening, folks. We'll catch you next week.